First of all, hello and welcome to webinar about monolithic zirconia. My name is Karla Rumac and I will lead you through this presentation. I am a CAD/CAM specialist in Dental Inpuls laboratory for the past 3 years, and our vision is to base each case on nature and objective harmony. Sandi Tarkulja and Mauro Ahmic are co-founders and owners of Dental Inpuls. In just a few years, Dental Inpuls has become a laboratory that pushes the boundaries of ceramic with creativity, fresh ideas, and firm sense of aesthetics. And this is my Dental Inpuls team. It's a group of vibrant, young, and inspired people. So we will pass through 3 major steps in this presentation, which are important to successfully finish a case with monolithic zirconia, which is from Aman Girbach, Zolid FX or Zolid FX Multilayer. So the first step is ICN concept in CAD design, which we will talk about in a second. Second step is manual rework, and the third step is staining. So step 1. First step is copying and applying natural teeth shape. Our everyday work is based on ICN concept, which means impulse copy of nature. With this concept, we are avoiding style or signature modeling of technicians and using nature to complete cases. Monolithic restorations require natural and aesthetic virtual design. Therefore, we can enrich our libraries with scans of natural teeth, and we are creating a new individual library at the same time. This allows us to mimic nature in a very efficient workflow. So this is an example that we will use for our presentation. After analyzing the teeth that we are going to restore, we are going to analyze the teeth that we want to copy. Keep in mind that they need to have good morphology. That means no chipped, heavily abraded, or poorly filled teeth. This prepared model is a perfect example for monolithic, high aesthetic, translucent zirconia. We need a bit bigger stumps than usual, vital color, which means no amalgamic filling, metal upgrades, or even 2 translucent fillings. All of that can affect the color of restoration, and a little of so-called dead space. We need that stump to give support in color, so our final restoration doesn't end up looking too translucent or too gray. Through this preparation, we need to keep matching value of our future restoration. This is one of the most important points to have before beginning to work with this kind of zirconia. So if you cannot meet most of these criteria, better use another material. So for teeth that don't have satisfying morphology, we use other shapes, but exclusively natural shapes to achieve natural harmony without our subjective impact. So this is what we use in our everyday work. It's a library of natural teeth from Jan Haito, which is divided into 32 female and 10 male shapes. In addition, we developed our ICN library according to globally accepted aesthetic. Here are shown American, European, and Asian perception. And this is how those 3 libraries look in monolithic zirconia. As these shapes replicate all perception of aesthetics, it allows us to solve almost all cases fast and efficient. So when we narrow down our choice of natural shapes, we are defining which one we will going to use for our final case. We are going to use patient's fangs because its morphology is well preserved. And this is a set of library that we are going to use for the rest of the dentition. So we will choose different lateral incisors because it will contribute to the asymmetry which is present in the nature. For the tooth number 22, we chose library female 1, and for tooth number 12, we chose female 7. For central incisors, we chose from our ICN library America. And this is how our choice of natural shapes for this case looks together. It's a combination of 4 sets of natural shapes. So now we move on to design in ExoCAD. We apply the library that we previously chose. So we correct its position and measure them to be the same size. So you can see in the picture number 4, the cervical third of the library is destroyed. To preserve the original shape of the library and preventing the software from destroying our shape during adaptation, we need to do these next steps. So first, we turn off visibility of everything but the setting of the tooth model. Second, we export it as an STL file. So you go right-click on the save icon, export scene to mesh, and save visible objects only. Third, proceed with adaptation of library to the stumps. Number 4, go to expert mode, choose add remove mesh. 5, import the setting of the tooth as a pre-op or a wax-up. And 6, adapt to pre-op. So after milling, only the shape is preserved, and that is the most important element. So step 2. These are the tools that we use for manual rework of Zirconia in white state. It is green state finishing kit by Aman Girbach. We use them to achieve surface structure. During the refinement process, it is very important to work with less pressure to prevent the possibility of damaging the material. So this is how the crowns look like after manual rework, and they are ready for sintering. This is the final result. So minor rework is also carried out after sintering. A grinding tool is perfect for processing 2 strong occlusal and the proximal contacts, and it comes in conical and point shape. The swivel, or the polisher, is great for those hard to reach areas such as occlusal or interdental areas in bridges. The bright green diamond polisher is used to smooth out the surface structure and polish crown margins. And the bright green diamond polisher is for high gloss polishing, such as occlusal contact points to prevent possible aberration of antagonists. Just keep in mind to limit the rework to a minimum, as this can lead to a long-term failure of restoration. So Zolid FX Multilayer is now ready for shading and glazing. Surface of the crown must be smoothed out in convex areas with green diamond polisher so that we can achieve complementary shine after glazing. Step 3. So when we start with shading, we have to keep these 2 things in mind. So less is more, so don't use too much color. And second, with small amount of color, create contrast. So these are the colors that we use most frequently for staining our zirconia. Reflective colors used next to absorbing colors, which need to be in small amount so that the restoration doesn't end up looking too dirty or smudgy. This is how we get contrast and illusion of transparency. And chroma, or aka base, which depends on desired color of the final restoration. Also, it is important to have good tool for this color application. We use Zolid FX Revolution brushes powered by MPF. They have ergonomic design that simplifies the handling and optimum size and hardness of bristles for applying small amounts of color. And this is the completed case from the right side. This is how the finished case looks with 1 layer of shading and 1 coat of glaze. This is a little close-up. As you can see, there are no traces of brush strokes or smudges. All colors have soft transition. And this is an example of monolithic zirconia. We used FX Multilayer 0A1 with the design of natural set ICN America. So also here, minimal use of color and one coat of glaze. And fine picture control of the aesthetic on the patient's face. As you can see, harmony is achieved. We see patient smiling, and that is the biggest reward for us technicians. Aesthetic is science, exploration of beauty in art and nature, includes emotions. No part of it can be separated or isolated, so it could exist. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you learned something useful for the use of monolithic zirconia.